Now, with all these exciting main series, stories which upon their conclusion will probably come out to a novel length each, why add an anthology on top of that? The answer? It's how I build out my world. Tales from the Frontlines is my ultimate playground, the proper sandbox to explore any idea I could set within the bounds of 365 Infantry's world. It could be the memoirs of a cab driver in the city streets of Haven, driving an old world car in a new world of hovercraft. It could be a tale of a getaway driver. It could be a simple slice of life romance. Any and all of these are possible within the confines of Tales from the Frontline. It is a series that is essentially my ultimate creative free space. And it isn't alone. Last year, the 365 Quarterly ran a 100th story edition, and that is not an exaggeration. Through our web series, Red Light Bites, a flash fiction series that does the same thing as Tales from the Frontline, just with less presentation and on a weekly basis, all told, I'd written 100 stories in the world of Haven and the Wasteland. Initially, I hadn't planned on doing Red Light Bites, and that was why I decided to create Tales from the Frontline as the 5th entry in a 5-prong attack. I wanted a place where I could just wander about. For me, there is no substitute to just experiencing the world you're building. Yes, you can go back, make your documents, get the details right, get everything in order, but what I love most is being able to see through the eyes of the characters I create, to experience things that are new to them as they are to me as the writer. One story is a straight-up crime tale, and then a couple moments later we're going deep inside the White Coat crew on the day that Aces became sentient. That also brings me to another element. Tales from the Frontline as a way to explore the characters of the other series. An Address from the General explicitly explores Nox's relationship with the desert citizen Lorraine, nicknamed Angel, and how her ultimate sacrifice in battle led to him rechristening the 365th Infantry, a simultaneous tribute to the all-day, everyday fight for freedom in the 25th century, but also a subtle nod to Lorraine herself, her Porsche 356 having donned the badge numbers in a slightly mixed up order of 365. One of the most popular stories on the webzine format for 365 is Spycraft 2475, a story about Agent Roger Steele on one of his usual jazz-loving undercover exploits. Last year saw the greatest hijacking of the format with The Day Nox Died, a 3-part serial exploring the events that led to Nox's defecting from Haven. This kind of focus on both character building and world building is the reason why I keep this series on standby. I'm able to tell stories that I can't tell in any of the other series without them coming off as giant digressions or exposition dumps. There's no room to fully explain the impact of Leonard Ford Godred in a story, but if I can show you some of the correspondences between him and the mechanic Eric from The Hunt, you get a better idea of what kind of hound he was, and his influence on Nox and the rest of the Force even after his death. Simultaneously, you're also able to paint in different colors than the rest of the series. The War is generally a dystopian action series. The Hunt has more of a mystery horror element to it. Urban Avenger is straight out cyberpunk, and Speed Freak Files is neo-western with a heavy metal twist. Here, in the confines of Tales from the Frontline, I can do something that is none of those. One of my favorites being Those Sterling Hours, in which we explore a previously introduced character, Buck Sterling, through the eyes of his loving wife and how they first came to meet. I have no room for that kind of cozy, playful slice-of-life romance in any of the stories. Maybe in some of the character relationships, looking at you, Sabina and Marcus, but beyond that, there really isn't a place for this kind of story. So even in its standalone episodic context, Tales from the Frontlines is an integral part of the 365 Infantry experience. Because like the series itself, it's able to take you places no one else can. As always, may God bless you and this Force.